Hello everyone. It feels like it's been a while since I last made a video about building tools for sharpening dull knives. Recently I've seen quite a lot of comment from you guys, and that tells me one thing. We men are finally taking this kitchen knife business seriously. To be honest, back in the day I used to argue with my wife about those knives that were so dull they seemed offended by the idea of cutting anything. But one day, when I stepped into the kitchen and tried cooking a meal for myself, I realized something important. The sharpness of a knife affects your mood more than the weather ever could. And from that moment on, I understood having a good knife really can contribute a tiny but meaningful piece to a happy home. Simple, yes, but every man who has ever wrestled with a dull knife will nod in agreement. So, if you're holding on to a dull kitchen knife that looks exactly like the one I used to struggle with, don't worry. Trust me, I've got an idea. First, grab a short PVC pipe about fist size. Then add a bolt roughly a teenager's handspan long. Any longer, measured by an adult, and you'd think we're building a spear. Next, prepare a roll of double-sided tape. Wrap the tape around the bolt, neatly, evenly, and just thick enough so it fits snugly inside the PVC pipe without wobbling. But don't forget to leave a bit of the threaded end exposed, because we'll need that to attach the whole thing to the drill later. A simple step, but it makes all the difference for our little homemade sharpening tool. And don't forget to peel off a small, just right piece of the second layer of double-sided tape. This little piece will help lock everything in place later, keeping the bolt and the PVC pipe from spinning in two different worlds. Fun to watch, but not great for sharpening knives. At this point, things are already about 99% secure, but we still need a metal clamp and a nut to tighten everything down properly. And let me share a little line with you. Anything under 99% is basically 50%. It sounds funny, but it's true. Ignore that last 1%, and all your hard work can fall apart in a heartbeat. So never underestimate that tiny bit that's left. To be honest, this step isn't all that crucial. I'm just marking the pipe into 3 equal sections, so later we can stick on 3 different types of sandpaper. It makes the tool easier to use and, well, much nicer to look at. Everything neat, clear, and no guessing which grit is which. The 3 types of sandpaper I'm using are 1000, 240, and finally 400. Lined up like that, fine, coarse, then medium, you can tell at a glance which surface you need for each stage. Now it's easy. Just glue each sandpaper strip onto the marked sections using liquid adhesive and apply them in ascending order. 240, then 400, and finally 1000. Just like that, you got a compact 3-stage sharpening station built right onto a simple PVC pipe. Though it sounds simple, I'll be honest, my hands aren't exactly the steadiest. But don't worry, I've cut out a lot of scenes in the video, so everything moves quickly. Just watch the method, and you'll get the hang of it. Once the glue is fully dried, we can attach our mini sharpening tool to the drill. Combine the right sharpening technique with a little clean water, and you're ready to turn those dull knives razor sharp in no time. All right, enough talking. Let's get started. I can already feel how sharp the knife has become after the sharpening process, but we're not done yet. Next, I'll clean the knife and the workspace thoroughly, getting ready for the next important step, polishing the blade. If you've been following me for a while, this polishing step won't be new, especially when we use a Spin AA battery. Its outer casing is perfectly structured for polishing a knife blade. But first, you need to remove the plastic outer shell. Looks easy, but it's actually really stubborn. If you don't have strong nails, good luck getting it off. To enhance the polishing process, I recommend incorporating toothpaste. Toothpaste contains fine abrasive particles that help remove minor scratches on the blade while providing optimal friction between the knife and the polishing surface, resulting in a smoother, more uniform, and polished blade. And here it is, the part everyone's been waiting for. Let's take a look at the results. After a few strokes, it required almost no effort. That smooth, effortless feeling made me realize that sometimes the greatest joy doesn't come from the final result, but from the process of creating something with your own hands. Every step, the sharpening, the sandpapering, tightening the clamp, helped turn a dull knife into a perfectly sharp tool. DIY is a story of care and creativity, transforming ordinary objects into something useful and beautiful. Looking back, it's not just a knife that upgraded. Your skills, patience, and small sense of pride are refined along the way. A small project, yet its value exceeds expectation. Practical in the kitchen, subtly joyful, and a reminder that your own hands and effort are what turn the ordinary into extraordinary.